A year later, how do things look? Have things changed much?
So let's take it back a year ago. A year ago, things were very hot on the market. We couldn't keep a property on the market very long at all. If a couple of days, we would be like, what's wrong with the property? And we had multiple offers. So I can tell you that we have a couple listings right now, and the listings that we have still seen multiple offers on the property. So it depends on, I know everyone like tells me like, I hear the market's crashing. I'm like, maybe in other parts of the US, but down here in South Florida, we're not necessarily seeing that. Houses are staying in the market a little bit longer than before because sellers have an expectation of getting this ridiculous amount of money for their property and not what it's actually valued for. So if you price the properties right to make sure that you price it for the value and what it's actually worth and not overpricing it, then you will get the house sold very quickly and there will be multiple offers still on it. If the sellers have an expectation of where we were from this year to last year, they're not getting $200,000 over asking price like they were before, but they're definitely getting multiple offers and they can determine which offer works with them the best.
So is that something that maybe has now sort of ended in terms of, you hear these stories about people getting crazy offers over and above their asking and then bidding wars start. Has that really kind of
so we're still seeing somewhat of a bidding war. We're not seeing it as crazy as it was before. I mean, it was insane. You know, everyone's like, you had the best year in real estate during that COVID year. I'm like, that was honestly my hardest time in real estate. You know, I would be having a buyer that would want to place an offer on a property and I'd be up against 15 to 30 other offers, you know, and there's only one property. So I felt like that was my hardest time in real estate. I'm a negotiator. I like to negotiate anything and everything. So for me, I was like, I'm having to tell my buyers, if you want this property, you have to come up with the highest and best. We'll say a house was valued at 1.2 million. Well, what's the highest and best? You know, they can't legally disclose, the seller's agent. So then I'm like, okay, what are you willing to give? If you really have to have this one property, what are you willing to do to buy this property? What type of incentives? Walking away from inspection, you know, contingencies, walking away from a mortgage contingency, coming up with an additional $100,000 to $200,000 cash. It was insane. We're not seeing that type of insanity today. In a year from now, we could see it definitely change yet again because interest rates are a little bit higher right now, but the rental market is also ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we have a feeling that a lot of these renters are going to come and buy eventually. They're going to get priced out of the rental market. So we have a feeling that the feeding frenzy could happen again in another year. But then again, if I could predict the future, I would definitely play the lottery.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm you know, I peruse a lot of stuff on YouTube and a lot of different guys that I follow. And they're guys, I mean, they're mostly on the West Coast, I've noticed. And there is one guy who does South Florida. But it seems like they're all basically saying the crash is already beginning, that there's all these unsold homes. They have all these multi-unit developers that built, whether for spec or people are just walking away from contracts in a large way. And that they haven't seen this since the great financial crisis, since 06, 07, where they built tracts of homes thinking that they were just all going to sell because money was easy, you know, your ninja loans all over the place. And now the banks are probably as tight as they've been in my recent memory. My wife and I are actually in the market to buy a home in of all places, the Cleveland area. We have to sell a house here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And we're going through all the travails that people go through when they try to sell a house. We've had a lot of people walking through and looking at it, a lot of compliments, but the one bugaboo has been we have a dated master bathroom. And almost every feedback set had a reference to that. The master bathroom is dated and the color is pink carpeting, mauve or mauve, whatever. That, you know. So my wife and I last weekend tore the bathroom apart. We tore out a team. Yeah, breaking our backs. I mean,
you didn't have to do that. Your realtor probably should. The sellers will give you X amount of dollars if you buy the property for a bathroom renovation.
That's what I wanted to do.
Because you're gonna wind up doing it one way, and they're gonna be like, I didn't want it like this. I wanted it like that. So that's why I prefer to give the buyers, if I'm representing the sellers, I prefer to give the buyers, say $10,000 at closing for a renovation of a bathroom.
Okay,
as opposed to having you gut the bathroom and stress you out.
Yeah, well, it's funny. That was what I initially wanted to do, and I was thinking 5,000, maybe 10,000 would have moved the needle a bit more.
Well, if it's a master bedroom, I would say 10,000. You know.
Yeah. Well, we never even got to that point. We just impulsively tore the tub out. We hated the tub anyway. We never used it. Yeah. It was terrible. You couldn't even fill it with. Couldn't get enough hot water in it to take a hot bath. It was one of these big old style jacuzzi tubs.
Oh, wow.
Guy on the wall. You had to run out of it and turn the. It was like 30 years old. Yeah. But it's gone. It made it to the curb in multiple pieces. Like I said, broke our backs getting it out of it. Just my wife and I did it. So now, of all things, we have a showing tomorrow, and we have a master bathroom with no bathtub, and it's just ripped out.
So what your agent needs to do is take the house I'm just giving you my opinion. I would take the house temporary off the market. How long has the house been on the market? Let me ask you that.
Well, since I'd say second week in August.
Okay, too long. Take the house temporary off the market. So tips and tricks of the trade of real estate. If a house that I have listed is not moving, I take the house off the market. 9 times out of 10, I tell the sellers what I feel like they need to do. Like I said, sellers concessions towards the buyers. Right. So I would definitely say, you're saying 5,000. In my honest opinion, for a master bathroom, I would definitely say $10,000. I don't know what you're doing in the master bathroom. You could be spending $5,000 on it right now, and you might not even see that return on your investment. Yeah. So that's why.
And to be honest, it's on the smallish side anyway. When you think what master bathrooms are in some of these really nice houses in Broward and Palm Beach County, this is a dated in style, but also dated in size. It's long and narrow. It doesn't have one of those. There aren't 2 sinks. The husband wife sink and stuff like that. And
right.
There is a separate tub and shower setup, which is, I guess, desirable. But again, there's so much stuff that needs to be up. We're going to put new shower doors in, so we're looking to spend around $3,000.
Okay.
And we have a tile guy who we trust, does great. He's done great work. We've renovated most parts of this house already. But
if you take the house off the market, the house off the market, agents and buyers like to see this. They like to see a couple of things to refresh the market. Back on the market, price change, or new. When the house goes active, us as agents and the buyers kind of scroll through it. It's like it doesn't even exist. Even if they did not look at the property. I guarantee that if you take your house temporary off the market, get new photos of your updated master bathroom and put it back on the market and do like sellers just refurbish the entire master bathroom, you wouldn't want to miss this property. I guarantee that house will be sold over the weekend. Just putting it, and you got to put it back on the market on a Thursday because you want it fresh for the weekend. I'm just telling you tips and tricks of real estate, of me being in the market for a long time. You want to put it back on Thursday in order to entice those buyers to look at them and do an open house over the weekend and really entice those buyers to come in and take a look at it. And did you have your house professionally taken photos of?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did really
have the photographer just come back out and reshoot that bathroom. Your realtor would do that. And therefore, I think it would make a world of a difference. What is it listed for?
It's listed for $539.
So it's listed in the price range that is flying off the market. Yeah. Anything under $1 million is flying off the market. Yeah,
the price has not been the issue. I think
the price is great.
Most of the people love the house because we have the kitchen with the granite countertops and the pot filler and the this, Miele that. We've got the high end stuff, so it looks really good when you walk in it. The bedrooms are pretty good. And
how many bedrooms?
Oh, I'm sorry. Technically 5.
Wow.
3.5 baths.
You hear this, ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this? He has almost a 5-bedroom house for under $600,000.
Pennsylvania, best school system in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Wow. And also you have a basement too.
That's
finished basement there with a wet bar.
A finished basement. So what's the square footage?
A deluxe artist studio. My wife is a glass artist. And she has a beautiful artist with studio with epoxy countertops that we did, and
amazing.
Although the kilns don't stay.
Rich, quick question: what is the square footage? Becky wanted to inquire.
Oh, I'm sorry. Square footage, including the finished basement, is about 5,100.
Oh,
That
my
is a
Lord.
huge property.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
What
have
about
an
the
attached
backyard?
garage?
it's attached garage.
Mhm.
What else? Well, here's one of our downsides. We don't have central air or central heating. We have baseboard heating, and we have basically those Mitsubishi bars that go on the top of the, like by the ceiling, the
Mm.
air conditioning bars with the the long narrow things.
What year was your house built? In the 50s?
It sounds like it was, right. I think it was in 75.
Oh, okay.
Been multiple additions have been put on the house, so it's
At 5,100 square feet, it's huge.
That's
yeah. I mean, it's
massive.
yeah. I mean, we have like a huge, like we have a screening room, like a TV room, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
very a lot of wood, built-in cabinets,
Mm.
beautiful. I mean, there was
So then you just got to play with,
urologist.
you got to play with the listing. While the bathroom is under construction, I would take it off the market.
Well, that's okay.
Temporary. That
Yeah.
buyer will come back again. Trust me, they're going to be enticed. And you know what's so crazy is when these buyers hear that there's multiple offers on the property, they want that property 10 times more. Then if I were to say, nope, I don't have any offers right now, they're like, oh, then we'll wait. Maybe we'll wait a couple days to see what happens. But if you say, this house is hot, I'm going to have multiple offer situation. You're not going to want to miss this house. I mean, they flock to it. They want what everybody else wants. They don't want what anybody else doesn't.
Yeah.
So the more enticing it is, the more you entice them in there, the more they want it 10 times more. It's crazy. Just like
we have
dating
very low
frenzy.
supply. We have very low supply in this range of this style of house in this town, in this school district. So that's why I think when it first went on the market, we got a lot of attention. But there's just those, things that stick out that most people really can't compromise on. If they don't like them, they say it's like the kitchen and the master bathroom are the two most important things. Those would appeal to the usually the wife.
Do you have some land?
Well, it's about a little less than a half acre, but we don't have much of a backyard. We have a really nice paver, it's like a place where we cook out and stuff. But the configuration of the property, almost all the lawn is in the front. It's in the front and around the side.
Now, is it on a hill at all, or is it?
No, it's on a corner in a great neighborhood.
Okay.
It's a very quiet neighborhood. Older people, older homes, sadly, but good, in a great town. I mean, it's probably one of the best towns in, it's a real bucolic kind of town. Very safe.
You already have another property picked out?
We don't. We were hot after a few in the Strongsville area, Hinckley area in Ohio. It's like the Cleveland suburbs. But until we got this thing under contract, we figured it's just too many things to juggle right now. My wife's starting a new job, and I'm kind of working from all over the place. So it just didn't seem like the time. But we found something right off the bat. The first day we looked, we found the house we wanted. It sold in a day. Went on the market, sold.
They still fly off the market, these
properties.
Yeah.
I came across, I was going to add a little bit to the mix here for a moment.
Please do.
There was a condo I saw. This was up in Central Florida. It was a 3-bedroom, I think it was a 3.5 bath, almost 2,000 square feet. It also had a basement since it's in Central Florida.
I'm shocked.
They do have them. They do exist. I've seen them. If you
in
ever
Orlando,
on US,
I was just in Orlando. I would have gone and checked it out.
Actually, not her. It's Hernando up in
Hernando.
Yeah, north of Tampa. And so this was originally selling for about 300. Then they lowered it to 285. Then they dropped it to 195. And they had I guess you could say, a seller's auction. Well, I was not available for the auction, which was this past weekend since I was working the auto show down in Miami. And now they're having another auction. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. So I have all the information. I was curious about it. I actually got a free video tour on it. So the realtor was there with her cell phone and everything. And it's not that easy to get a tour through the eyes of a cell phone versus being there in person. But I got to say, it is quite spacious. The one thing I did not like about it, it only had one parking spot. And then there's, of course, and it's a carport. So you're right underneath, you walk right in. But I wish it would have had two, preferably a garage, maybe like a 2-car garage. And then if the basement is right there, you'd walk right through the basement, and then you can walk upstairs or however you want to enter the premises. The HOA was also not the most of modest. I mean, rates $340 a month. So that's somewhere.
It's a condo, right? You said so. It takes care of
Yeah.
the exterior of the property. So then you only have to take care of the content and the drywall interior of the property.
Yes, I
So I
believe
mean, that's
so.
got your insurance, part of your insurance in it. So that's why they're so high. You're lucky that condo is only $340 a month.
Yeah, I've been looking in this area too, even in Southern Florida and Boynton Beach, Southern Boulevard, West Palm Beach, in that area. And boy, those HOAs are like $600-700 a month.
Exactly.
Then they have like even in Plantation, I saw beautiful property, 1,700 square feet. It was a condo and it was $245K. And I thought, wow, this is pretty good. It's not too far and it's very central to everything. Here comes the problem. $486 a month on the HOA, and drum roll, another $350 a month for the next 16 and a half years as part of a 20-year assessment. So that's $836 a month, and you haven't even made a mortgage payment yet.
It's crazy.
Yep. There's not a chance I would buy that. And the only way you would is if, okay, I got $300K to spend and I'm going to buy it outright.
So
Is
I
it
do
really
think that
worth
we'll
it,
see a
you know?
decrease in the condos just because like in the condo aspect of it, they have been all hit with the assessment because of the condo down in Miami.
Yes.
So because that happened, they have to redo all the structure work of all these condos. So all of these buildings, all of these homeowners got hit with these huge assessments that they didn't have budgeted.
Oh.
But the buildings need the work, you don't want your building to collapse. So, I mean, they need the work, they need to put the money into the structure. And unfortunately, everyone got hit with very high fees. Plus, insurance rates here in Florida went up very, very high.
Yeah.
So,
plus we just had a hurricane also. That didn't help.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a good thing that I'm told in January, we're getting a couple new carriers here in South Florida, which we have not seen in quite a while. So I think that's going to drop everyone's insurance premiums quite a bit because right now all we have is Citizens. Yeah. So they're going to be incorporating a couple new insurance companies here in South Florida. And I think we're going to see a huge decrease on everyone's property insurances for the year.
From your mouth to God's ears, Becky.
Yeah,
that's what I'm told by my friends who own insurance companies. I'm not, I don't do insurance, but this is just what I'm told.
Yeah, it's said there's some. I mean, I've looked everywhere from Central Florida. I get listings even from Northern Florida, and Northern Florida, you can find some decent properties and land, and you're not going to break the bank entirely. It depends where you want to live. If you want to live more rurally, that might be your best bet. And that's the way things are going now. It's kind of crazy, especially here in the Tri-County area in Southern Florida.
Yeah, we're still a very, very hot market down here in South Florida. We're still seeing people flock here from out of state still. Yep. Everyone's like, oh, is everyone still moving there or did they stop? I'm like, they've always moved here to South Florida.
Yes.
Yep. Well, I heard a stat yesterday that 1,100 people a day are moving
to South Florida. I believe it. Yeah. I believe it. I mean, who wouldn't want to live here? We vacation year round. It's probably I love it in South Florida. I really do. Like whenever I go to the beach, I'm like, I can't believe we live where people vacation. But then it's like, I go to the cold all the time. I go to Tennessee and I'm like, I love to see the snow. And it's so funny. They flock here. Yeah. They're like, we're so sick of the snow. We're so sick of the cold. I'm like, I never get it. So I love to see it once a year for a couple of days. I don't want to live in it. I don't want to shovel it. But I really do enjoy like visiting the cold for like a week or so. It's always nice.
Well, I'll tell you this summer, I don't know whether it was just like maybe 1 or 2 degrees warmer than normal, but so many people were complaining about how really hot, how it was unusually hot this summer. And it was still in this usual, low 90s, but the high humidity. And you just bake when you walk from the car in and out. You break out in a sweat from in and out, going out of the mall or something where it's air conditioned. You walk out to your car. But I guess that you get used to that. That's part of the deal. You
do. On Friday, I went up to Orlando, which is like a 3-hour car drive from Boca, right? And I live in Boca, and we were getting in the car, and as I'm packing the luggages in the car, I'm literally dripping in sweat. I look in my car, I leave at noon. I'm like, it's 102 degrees. It's so hot. We're on our way up to Orlando, which is only 3 hours. We're on our way up to Orlando. We got hit with 3 storms. We get out of the car and me and my girls were like, we're cold. It was 72 degrees in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
looking
look
here
at the
at
temperature
forecast.
drop. That's 3 hours north, 102 here in Boca. And then we got to Orlando, it dropped down to 72. And we were like, oh my God, I'm like, I didn't bring a sweater. I'm going to freeze.
Yeah. And then of course you walk in the malls and it's 66 or, they keep it so cold inside.
I know, but that's why I always have a jacket with me.
Yeah.
I always have a blazer with me to put it on.
Here's an interesting stat. There's a town, of course, called Crestview, Florida, between Pensacola and Tallahassee. And I spent a night in Crestview once. This was in April of 2022. And I remember it got down to 56 degrees and the high was 80. And this was in late April.
In April.
So, yeah. Now, this is interesting. Their temperatures right now are in the 60s in Crestview.
Really?
Yeah, they have lows of 66, 65. That's going to be over the weekend. And then they're going to get down to 63 the following Tuesday and Wednesday.
Open the windows, good sleeping weather,
Oh my God, it's amazing. Now, Crestview, too, a little trivia. It's known as the Icebox of Florida. It's actually the coldest city in the state of Florida, historically speaking. And I think it has to do where it's situated. So if if that entire area in the Florida Panhandle, they get Georgia weather.
Yeah, it must be somewhere in the mountains of Florida.
Yeah. Well, I would say it is hilly.
That.
It is hilly.
When we were in Orlando, we were in we were kind of like a little bit more west than where we normally stay. And I was telling my daughter, look at these hills. And she's like, she goes, we have hills. I'm like, we don't have hills like this. This is like real hills.
Yep.
I'm like, ours are like man-made hills. I'm like, these are like real hills. I'm like, these houses are on a hill. It's pretty cool.
Except in Boca, Palmetto Park Road, there's that one ridge.
Yeah, that goes over the Turnpike Pass.
Yeah. Northwest 4th. You make it right. You might see an occasional house built up, and you're like, oh my God, you don't see that every day.
Yes, so that one house that's built up on that higher plot of land down on Palmetto. Yes, right off of 4th. And it's for sale, that property.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's like condemned. It needs a lot of work.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
there's always a catch.
That neighborhood is nice though. That whole neighborhood.
It's nice, but you're butt up to Palmetto Park Road. I mean, you're going to hear the hustle and bustle of that. That's not really a desirable property.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's when you say condemned, that's scary. I can't imagine. I'm guessing $100K to put into it at least.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be more. I think the roof alone is probably going to be about $50,000. And it's a total wood frame structure, top and bottom.
Oh, wow.
And you have to gut the entire thing. You're probably looking at close to $350,000 to $400,000 to gut that property.
Wow.
To make it habitable, to live in the property.
That's the other thing too. There are some gorgeous wood frame homes, but they just don't do as well in Florida because of termites and
it's not just the termites, it's the insurance. Your insurance premiums are double on a wood frame house as they are on a CBS frame property. So it's just very different.
Interesting.
So I want to address a couple of topics here, some bullet points for you, Becky, for you to so you can knock them down here. So you do a month, like every Monday, you do like a status report of the market. I've watched it often. One of the only realtors I've ever seen do that. You do it consistently. You do it every Monday, right? For the
every Monday market update.
Yeah, that's great.
Love it.
So are there how are we doing on supply of homes right now?
So in Boca, we have 1,253 active properties on the market. That's nothing. That is just a little over a 3-month supply of properties. If you took the statistic about let's take it 5 years ago, there was close to probably 4,000 properties on the market.
Wow. Okay.
So we're significantly very low inventory right now in South Florida.
Yeah, no one's selling those homes because they've got 3% mortgages.
Which is, where
are you going to go, right?
Well, that's a good selling feature, which you might want to look into this as well. See if you have an assumable mortgage.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good.
Do you have a low interest rate on the property that you're in now?
I should be writing these things down.
Yeah, good idea.
Email me these. Yeah, I'll call you.
So an assumable mortgage is a good selling feature right now because interest rates are so high. So if you have an assumable mortgage, see my property that I'm in now, I have a 2.2 2.35 interest rate on the property that I have right now. I know it's crazy low, but I'm in real estate and I stock the market, and I have a lot of friends in a lot of places that do mortgages. So, I mean, when I see the rates going down, I quickly refinance, pull money out, and I get locked in at a lower rate. And then I buy other real estate with that money. But what I do is, if my mortgage is assumable, I could sell my property today at my assumable mortgage rates, but they would only be able to assume the amount of money that I have left on my mortgage, but at that 2.235 interest rate. So depending on if your mortgage is assumable and you have a lower interest rate, that would be a huge selling feature, because interest rates are at 7%.
Yeah.
So if you were to,
we're at about 5 5/8 right now.
that's
we
so
actually,
good.
We actually refied up from, we had an interest only loan for the longest time at 2.75. And
wow.
and the clock ran out on us. We had a refi, and this was about 4 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, things have been gradually ticking up. So,
but 5 is still really good. You can also buy the seller's rate down. You can offer to buy a point of the buyer's rate. That's another good enticing thing. Your agent can put that in like the broker's remarks or in the buyer's remarks and say, seller is really willing to contribute up to 1 point buy down on the interest rate. And that's a huge selling feature for, a buyer to come in, because that means you're helping them purchase the property.
Becky, I'll tell you, let's take a quick break. We have a couple of commercials we'll run, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Sounds good.
Great.
Cool.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Hunter's Blend Coffee, premium coffee for freedom-loving Americans. Many coffee importers view the world very differently than you do and would support lobbyists that fight against the Second Amendment, hunting, and our God-given freedoms. No matter where you buy your coffee or who roasts it, someone had to import the green coffee beans. Well, we are the coffee buyer, importer, and roaster. So from the farmer to your mug, you can feel confident that your morning coffee has been safely in the hands of patriots. Hunter's Blend Coffee. All right, we are back.
We are back. Yes, indeed.
Fast commercial break.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a quickie.
That was a little subliminal thing for Miles Franklin there.
Yes.
There we go. I'll just do a quick little live read here for one of our other sponsors.
Sure.
We are sponsored by Miles Franklin Precious Metals. So, Becky, if you get a big score, you may want to put some of your money in some, hard assets, say for, get your money out of the bank or some of it anyway. But here's our weekly specials: 10-ounce gold Eagle from Miles Franklin with $37.50 over spot price. Those are Andy's assessment. Those are really good for for whatever you want to say, like barter or trade or small denominations. So for smaller purchases. Then you have your 10-ounce. Those are kilos actually. Kilo Valcami silver bars. Those are 3.9 silver, and those are only $1.99 over spot. Right now, prices are very, very attractive on silver. Right now, I think the close today was a little over $23. So historically, it's still a very good price. Miles Franklin, reach out to us at faceforradio@yahoo.com. If you have interest, I'll send you their inventory and their weekly specials. I will make sure you get the best price going. MilesFranklin.com is their website. They've been in business for 33 years. I know Andy personally. He's a great guy. I've been a customer myself for a couple of years. They have great prices right now on Silver Eagles, which are, again, that's constitutional money. That's the money of the country. Not those little pieces of paper and those little digits on your screen. I mean, they spend, but the money of the country is gold and silver. It's in the Constitution. Pick it up and read it sometime. Phil knows all about that, right?
No doubt.
So anyway, back to our friend, our guest, Becky Skeba-Mancini. There you see her podcast there. And it's now, Becky, you're on all the Spotify, iHeart. Are you on all the platforms with your
I'm
podcast?
on them all. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it, I'm on it.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, how many have you done so far? How many episodes are you up to?
Oh my gosh, I don't even 50 something, 56.
Yeah,
if not more than that, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I lost track of where I'm at, to be honest with you. Because then I started doing it like every other week, because once a week just started getting to be very difficult with my work schedule.
Now, do you still have to go into the studio in Boca to do it?
I still go into the studio. I can record from home, but I just prefer to go into the studio because when I set the time up, I do it. I'm able to show up. I usually have like a guest or two on, but I usually do my podcast solo. Or I have like somebody like specialty in there, like an insurance agent or a lender to like go over the market statistics.
It's a fun place to go to. They're nice people and very, very professional, nice equipment. It's a nice part of Boca. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I know Phil and I, we always used to enjoy it. It was a little, logistically, it was tough to get to for us, but more so for Phil. But once we got there, we had our little,
It was a fun time. It really was.
Yeah, cool. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just a couple.
No, don't be. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we got a couple other things I wanted to just kind of bring up here real quick. With interest rates right now being around 7%, are you seeing people jumping back into ARMs? Are there a lot of that going on again?
There's different type of mortgages right now. So we just got done with a program called Hometown Heroes, which was like a loan that they were giving for first-time home buyers to increase them to come move in. I'm not seeing too many ARMs right now. I really do not see them going. I am seeing people locking in, and I'm seeing lenders offering a free refinance in the next 3 to 5 years if interest rates drop. So there's different type of programs that different lenders are offering, but I'm not seeing a lot of ARMs right now happening. And we're still seeing a lot of cash.
Yeah. Well, the markets are still elevated. So the stock markets, so a lot of people, I guess, are still doing well.
And here's a question. What about corporations? Are they kind of coming in too in terms of purchasing real estate? Because, you hear about a lot of LLCs scooping up whatever properties are available, which is making things a lot more difficult.
Investors are buying up crazy properties because they're getting top dollar for rent. And it makes sense for them right now. They've got the cash. They're coming in there. They're negotiating. They're going into the condemned properties or the properties, the little bit more of a distressed properties. They're buying them for cash. They're getting a deal. They're doing a little bit of renovation. They're renting them for top dollar. They're making their investment over and over again. So, I mean, they know that once a person goes in there and rent, the renters this is my slogan with the renters. They're like, we're going to buy next year when the market crashes. We're going to buy next year when the market crashes. I'm like, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is not 2008 anymore. Back then, I could have got my dog a loan. My dog could have purchased a property. Nowadays, back during COVID, it was so difficult to be approved for a loan. They were making it very hard. Plus, 9 times out of 10, everyone was buying it in cash. There was no loans. So what are people going to foreclose on when there was no loans? Their HOA fees. You're going to find an investor that are going to pay some of these property taxes and HOA fees, and they're going to scoop up the property that way, as opposed to it foreclosing at the bank. Yeah. I don't see it happening. We would need a lot more inventory than where we are right now in order. Maybe in 3 years we could see a crash, but as of this year and next year, I just don't see it happening. I've got too many buyers on the sidelines right now waiting for the market to crash in order to buy. But yet they've been in a rental now for 3 years and they have flushed down almost $250,000 worth of their money to rent, and they've got nothing to show.
Well, I bet also with the massive rise in people's home values over the last 2 years that a lot of people probably took home equity loans. So they probably have this money either in the markets, they play around with it, go on vacations, buy that second Tesla, or whatever, and so they're cash rich. So even if they have to ride out, let's say, a job loss, they have money in the bank. They keep making the mortgage payments. No one's the wiser. They just kind of roll with it until things improve, right? I mean,
if they have to, they've got money, they've got their investment, their property, they can always sell it, so it's like they can always sell it and cash out. So because the market is still really good. The market is still up from this year to last year. Everyone thinks we're are you seeing these price drops? I'm like, yes, I am seeing some of these price drops, but because you have unrealistic sellers that are thinking they're back on last year thinking that they're going to get $1 million for a $500,000 property. It's not going to happen. You have to price it properly.
Well, what I've been seeing with at least a lot of the news reportage of the CNBCs, and they're saying that while prices did sort of dip about 6 months ago, but now they're back on the rise, whether that's the average for the country or specific areas. But I know Florida itself is still going up. Now, whether it's matching the rate of inflation, that's probably not the case. Inflation. So if you factor in the inflation rate versus the home price appreciation, maybe they're going down on a relative basis. On a nominal basis, they're still going up. So you're not really seeing any, like in the headline, it's a tease, obviously, when we said, Florida real estate's crashing, and you beg to differ, or you say not so fast, because really, I understand that it's not really crashing, but yet it's crashing elsewhere, but not in Florida. And that's where I think people are kind of, I guess they're misinformed, or they're just not seeing. You still have all the factors coming to play that are keeping those prices elevated.
And I also think that after the election happens, we're going to see a feeding frenzy of buyers. People are waiting to see what's going to happen. Yeah. So I think that people are playing it safe a little bit right now. So I think once that happens too, I think we're going to see another influx of buyers.
Yeah.
And Florida residents.
And Florida, yeah. So we'll see what happens in other states.
Yeah, because they're still emptying out. They're emptying out of, I think, Illinois. California. They're leaving Pennsylvania, of course. They're leaving here too, but they're leaving New Jersey, and
Connecticut.
Massachusetts was another. New York. I think everyone has already left New York. They're already down.
Is there any New Yorkers left?
Please turn off the lights when you leave.
They're all in.
This is like Florida / New York.
Yeah.
Well, the sixth borough, right?
Crazy.
Sixth borough, exactly.
Borough. Like Florida is the sixth borough of New York. Yeah. It's insane. But we're also getting a lot of people from out of the country. We have a lot of people moving from Ukraine, here to South Florida. There's a huge, Ukrainian population here and a big Russian population here.
Well, I think Zelensky's looking for another mansion, so
get it on Star Island, maybe.
I'd be happy to sell it to him any day of the week.
But he'll just buy Marco.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's moving here to South Florida because it's beautiful here. It's clean.
It is.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Compared to LA.
It's getting a little crowded, though. I'll have to say there are parts of it that you can really. They're just building so many. Multi-unit, whether it's rentals or now. They're in the up towards the Lake Worth area where my wife and I have been living the last year. Yeah. They're just like plowing down all the farmland. Everything is being. Up the 441 corridor on both sides. Everything is just being developed. Like it was 10 years ago when everybody was coming down here.
Well, did you see they built all the properties on the acreage?
They
built Arden up there, and the acreage, you couldn't sell property on the acreage a few years ago. Remember Aaron Brockovich? That's where it was based out of. Really? So, because the soil was tainted, but yet there you go.
Short memory.
Hundreds of homes, and people flocked to there.
Wow.
So
the neighborhood's beautiful.
So are there issues with the water? Are the water table? Is there something that would, or is everything piped in with public sewer? Is that how they do it? It's
public sewer, yeah. And they're out in the acreage. They're in the acreage. They are way out west. But it's a beautiful new community, and everyone loved it, and everyone flocked there. They sold out very, very quickly.
What's your thoughts on Naples?
I love Naples.
Yeah.
So
me
the
too.
Naples, you see a lot of people from the Midwest. So we see people from the Midwest, and that's where they typically go. New York comes to East Florida. The Midwest kind of goes to West Florida. Naples is beautiful. It's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more quieter than East Florida. We are fast paced. We have a shopping center on every street corner. Naples, you might have to drive a little bit further. It's a little bit rural in some areas, but Naples is absolutely gorgeous.
Okay. Do you
Very
think
pretty on the
prices
outside.
might drop there a little bit, or you think everything's just going to go up?
It's still very hot there. Very
Okay.
hot in Naples from what I am told. I don't really sell too much in Naples. I do have an investor that owns a property over there, but everything that I know that has sold over there very quickly.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe not a condo, but single family homes are so
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid condos at this point because
why not a townhome?
Townhouse, I'm open to 100%.
Okay.
That I would do.
You get probably your own garage, I would think. A townhome.
Townhome, you can get, there's townhomes that you can have your own garage. Therefore, you'll wind up, having a garage. And then sometimes the insurances are a little bit lower, but then you're responsible for your own roof and everything else like that.
Exactly.
You don't have those condo doc fees.
So here's a quick question. We're going to wrap up real soon, but there's one thing I wanted to address with you because a friend of mine had this happen to him about these little drones that are flying over top people's houses and inspecting the real estate companies, the insurance companies are checking to see the condition of their roofs to see if they can hit them with some kind of a assessment or something to have to redo the roofs or something.
That is very true.
That is happening.
That is very true. And they also see if tree branches are hitting the property. So if the tree branches are too close to their property, they're afraid the trees are going to fall on the house. So they tell you to trim them back. But yes, that is very true. And yes, 100% they are flying drones over your property. Right. And they wait for them to see no cars in your driveway. And that's when they fly them up.
And then I hear they threaten to cancel your policy.
Correct. Or increase your policy, one or the other.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened to a friend of mine in Mount Dora. And I think it was State Farm that did it.
Yeah.
And then I think State Farm then left the state right after.
Unbelievable.
But then the next insurance carrier is gonna be like, why were you dropped? You know what I mean? So it's like a production to get insurance then.
Wow.
That's very unfortunate. But yep, they're doing it.
Yeah. Hence disappeared.
Yeah.
Mount Dora is a lovely area. God, I wish we had more time to talk about this. It's just fascinating.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's great to see you again, Becky. Let's do this again. Maybe we won't wait a full year next time. Maybe we'll check with you every 3 months or so. You give us a
sounds good
finger on the pulse.
I love it.
Wonderful.
Great photo. Love that photo. It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and so when does your podcast usually drop? What day of the week?
Tuesdays. They drop on Tuesdays.
Wonderful.
Okay,
great. Yeah, we'll look for you there as well.
Thanks,
and I'll see you on Facebook. I see you there a lot. And,
absolutely.
And I'll look for you on LinkedIn. I'm on there a lot as well.
I'm on LinkedIn. Sounds great, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Becky. Have a great evening.
Bye, guys.
Take care, Becky.
See you soon. Bye now.
Thanks. All right.
Yeah, great to see
Becky
her. Yeah, she is a fount. What's the word? Fount.
Just a plethora of information. It's incredible. Very knowledgeable. Knows her stuff inside and out. I mean, it's like a Rolodex. I can ask her about a city. She'll know the area. She'll know what to look out for and everything. Naples actually was considering. I love that area. It's so
my
quiet.
buddy Leo is looking at that place. It's funny. A lot of the guys from this northeastern PA area, they're going to the Gulf Coast. They like being over away for all the New Yorkers.
I don't blame them. And not to mention, the winters are a little cooler there too, because you happen to be right off the Gulf of Mexico. And Hunter's Blend coffee, nice.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to hold the mugs up, but
I know.
But in fact, I'm gonna reach out to Mike Schwartz and Truber. I want to see if he'll come on and give us we'll have a little chat with him. He's a great guy, and I think give us a chance to talk about the coffee a little bit. I think he'd be a great guest.
Yeah,
I'm going to probably reach out to him the next week or so.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right,
So
you ready?
Yeah. So I'm hoping we're keeping our fingers crossed. Great information from Becky though. I'm gonna talk to Sue and have a conversation with our realtor because she raised some really good points that I kind of thought I agree with her, but we didn't go that route about putting the money, the incentive and also now the idea of taking us off the market while we're doing this, rebuild or renovation of the master bathroom makes a lot of sense. So, well, again, thanks for joining us, everybody, and great. Thanks, Phil. Great question, great input, and again, happy or not happy, but what do you want to say? A somber September 11th.
Yeah, safe September 11th. I mean, that's all you can do. Let's hope we never have another one. I mean, that's all. Right. Just a horrific day in our history.
Yes, and to all our friends and the people in Maui, we're still thinking of them, and never forget that either, because that one is still very fresh in our.
And Benghazi also September 11th, so it's 2012. People forget that too, but
you bet.
All right.
Well, hasta
la vista, baby. Ah.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Face for Radio. Check us out next week. I'm Richard Marks.
And I'm Phil Hirsch.